put a class schedule, you're like, I know who's coming today, is lecture, correct? So it's a surprise of that. Our team also doesn't know who's coming, except for like a few people who are involved. Prepare for shocks, bring it on. Someone is saying Dr. Itisha. Okay. Any other guesses? Who's the mystery guest? Okay. Could be Professor Drapes. Econ. Anyone except my college faculty. Which college you're from? Tell me. We call them. आज stats नहीं है. Can't do stats like 2-3 days in a row, no? Like, give it some time. Let it breathe a little. You can't write poetry every day. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Professor Drape. Okay, I had no idea. Okay, some people are saying Arjun. I'm tempted to say raccoon. Okay, he's stuck in your box. Still waiting for people to stats 4 hour one shot. Dude, listen, it's a good thing that people don't know where you are, because if you tell them to do stats for 4 hours, they won't be very happy with the idea or you. ये कौन है? ठीक है. We'll start then. Okay. We have 2 sessions, and as the sessions are going on, I will tell you, reveal it. So with the very first session, you met this guy already. We have Sam, who's gonna take personality again. He's gonna continue where he left off, because I told you we're gonna do a week of that. Second session is the mystery guest, and when they are here, I will let you know. I will introduce them and reveal who it is. Okay, awesome. You guys ready for today? Excited for today? Awesome. Let's get started. Sam, you can take over. Sanjana, I hope you started streaming.
Hello. Hi everyone. How are you today? Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Hello, alive, excited. Alive is an interesting adjective. How are you? I am also excited for today, especially after yesterday. I received such a positive response. I got messages from so many people. I got texts. I got to know how they understood the dog versus superego debate, right? Um, so I was very excited. Today, I can't see any of you. Can some of you turn your camera on if that's possible? Mm, mm, mm. Yes. Hi, Pavni. Hi, Prachi. Hi, Unnati. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. Chalo. Then I won't take much time in the introduction. Let's start. Let me share my screen. Yes. Very interesting topics theorists for today. Day 2, we have Freud, of course, the man himself. We have Carl Jung, and we have Horney. Any ideas about these people? Who do you like? Who do you not like? What do you think about these people? Just to start with. How do you guys feel about Freud or yeah, movie says very kill, okay. Judging Freud in the corner, okay. Jung and his archetypes are annoying, okay. If I remember correctly, Jung regularly abused power to exploit clients. Oh, so many people did. But yes, doesn't make it right. Like Horney, like Jung, Freud, I try. Oh, wow. I'm going to love today's session. Freud was misunderstood. That is one of my opinions. Collective unconscious, it's fun to think about. Great. Okay, chalo. I think, yeah, I can see you guys now. Freud needed therapy too. Who doesn't, Sanya? Who doesn't? Don't like Freud's explanation for anything was your mama. Oh, I have a few your mama jokes today. Don't worry. Okay. Should we start? Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Okay, let's begin. Of course, as you know, we have a ritual of beginning with some MCQs. So let's just quickly go through them. I think you answered all correctly today except like two. That's good. I think you already know this. It's so nice to see that the answers that we're talking about you already know. Yesterday, so many of you got all of them right. That was great. Okay, lot of B's, lot of C's. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Which layer underlies the conscious level in Freudian topology? Freudian topology क्या है? ये don't worry at all. What happens is they give you complex words in the exam, right? What they're trying to do is scare you, and we have to overcome this fear, correct? And we'll do that together. Don't worry. What happens is they give you a simple question. What is the question essentially here? कि conscious के नीचे what is below conscious, correct? What have they written? They've written which layer underlies the conscious level in Freudian topology. कोई जरूरत है क्या? Is this complex language needed? It's not needed. But they will scare you and then you will sleep, right? Don't worry. Simple question है. The answer is B, pre-conscious. Freud ने subconscious नहीं बोला था, pre-conscious बोला था, right? Subconscious was made a popular term by other people. Okay, all right. Next question for you guys. बताओ. Okay. What are the feminine traits in a man known as, according to Jung? Okay. What is the trademark of these questions? The trademark of these questions is you know two answers are wrong and you know ये दोनों में से एक है 50-50 है basically, right? कौन बनेगा करोड़पति देखते हो आप लोग? उसमें वो 50-50 ऑप्शन इसीलिए रहता है दैट दे थिंक कि यू नो यू विल गेट टू नो समथिंग. अगर यहाँ पे आपने 50-50 यूज किया रहता तो persona and shadow it would have been removed. Then you would have been like, I already know it's between anima and animals. And that's where the mistake happens. But it's very simple. All of you, literally all of you have given it correctly. The answer is anima. Okay, we'll discuss this today. Don't worry. Okay, next question. ये बताओ. There's a mistake in this question actually. Wow, this is like a surprise question. Okay, so there's a mistake in this question. Okay, what is the mistake? I'll tell you. The energy of Eros is the life instinct. The energy of the Eros was known as libido. Okay. The energy of Thanatos was never named, right? It was never named. So ideally, yeah, Freud never named it. Ideally, the answer should be none of the above, right? So this question आपको free marks मिलते हैं सबको, ठीक है? Okay, let's see the next question. बताओ. Could you repeat the explanation for the previous one? Yes, of course. I'll repeat it again when I come to Freud, but basically, the energy of Eros, which is the life instinct, is known as libido. The energy of Thanatos was never named. Okay, that's the explanation. Okay, ये तो simple सवाल है, right? What is Jung's concept of integration of the self known as? We discussed this yesterday also a little bit. It is C, individuation. Okay, ठीक है. Next question. ये बताओ. Interesting answers. Horner had developed a concept referring to neglect of caregivers, right? Neglect of caregivers. What is this known as? Now, this is an interesting question. What happens here is you are made aware of a few terms in our syllabus, in your syllabus. Ki basic anxiety is a concept given by Horney. As soon as you see basic anxiety, you recognize it and then you say it's basic anxiety, right? Then you see ki oh, neglect and neglect is same, so maybe it's basic neglect, right? But actually, the answer is basic evil. C is the actual answer, right? So they will try to confuse you, but don't worry. आज हम ये तीनों चारों कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ने वाले हैं. So you will get to know. Okay, चलो. Let's start. Explanation, please. Bad liar. Explanation is I'll explain all the concepts that will be more clearer. But what I mean is neglect of caregivers means basic evil. That was the term Horney gave for neglect of caregivers. Basic anxiety comes later, which I'll explain how it comes, where it comes from. And we'll go there. Chalo. Okay, I think everyone has got a 4 on 5 or something. Great job. Chalo, let's start today. Okay, we are going to start with Sigmundo Freud. Okay, I'm not going to, give a small table जहाँ पे year दिया हुआ है 0 to 1 is oral stage and then fixation is given and then the personality type is given and then it's like okay, you have now learned psychosexual stages of development, right? That's not what we are going to do today. First of all, we will see how his theory emerged. Okay, one of the major theories of Freud was his drive theory, drive or instinct theory. In German, actually, it wasn't death instinct. So the direct translation is drive. It's not instinct. Okay. But let's call it instinct. What are instinct? Innate forces. And these innate forces, when activated, create needs. Okay. For example, आपको भूख लगती है, आपको प्यास लगती है, right? You have an instinct for, say, hunger or food. Then there is a need that is created. If you don't drink water for a long time, then the tension increases because you don't have water, and then you drink water to come reduce the tension and bring it back to homeostasis, right? This is a theory in motivation. Will not go there. But let's see here what Freud did. Okay, Freud ने क्या किया था? Freud had developed two instincts पहले. Okay, before 1920. These were the sexual instinct and the self-preservatory instinct. After 1920, he clubbed both these instincts and he named them eros. Okay. Now, what is eros? Batao. You guys tell me, then I will tell you. What do you think eros is? What is your understanding of eros? बताओ बताओ. Life instinct, life force, will to live, excellent, 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 survival, excellent, life instinct, great, life, constructive. Okay, can you give me an example where you experienced eros in action? आपको दिखा तो नहीं होगा ना रास्ते पे कभी eros? Have you seen eros on the road, hailing a cab or something? No, right? You feel hungry, you eat. That is self-preserving, which is eros, correct? Need for survival, reproduction, excellent, great. Okay, then imagine eros is turned outwards. Let's imagine eros as a force. Okay, this is a ball, right? If I push this ball पीछे से, if I apply force from behind, it will go forward, correct? Imagine eros is inside you, right? It's a force that resides within you. Now, what if this force is directed outwards towards a person, say towards a person you like? What will that mean? Exactly, that becomes love. Okay, eros is the life force. Eros is sexual instinct plus self-preservatory instinct. Defense mechanism. No, no, no. Not will come there. Not defense mechanism yet. So eros is the life force that sustains you. Every day when you hear your alarm and you're like, please 5 more minutes. But then you're like, I will have to get up because I have to do this, I have to do that. That's eros. Okay. Now let's come to thanatos. Eros की एनर्जी को लिबिडो बोलता है. I will come there. Death instinct is thanatos. Thanatos manifests in our lives in different ways. Have you ever felt the urge to cute aggression we talked about yesterday? Let's remove the cute part. The cute part makes it digestible for us, right? But have you ever had the urge to just slap somebody? Yes or yes? Wow, so many yes. Instantly ऐसे. I think you've thought about this. बाप रे बाप कि बहुत ही messages आते हैं. They're not stopping only. But yes, I have also. Now, have you ever had the urge, you know, or have you ever heard that people have these urges to uh, you're crossing the road, there's fast cars that are zooming by you, right? And you just have an urge ki, okay, let me just jump on the street. Or have you heard someone describe this? Have you ever had an urge to step on a living being, small dog or something, right? Now see, instantly the nose have started coming in. Okay, ठीक है. अब मुझे बताओ, if Thanatos is another force inside you, if that is directed outwards, what does that become? Guess, you know it. Already you know. क्योंकि मैंने eros का बताया दिया है. Excellent. Hate, aggression, destruction, murder, anger, violence, irritation. मच्छर के साथ, have you ever had experienced Thanatos with mosquitoes? I think mosquitoes is the example. Everyone, like, the force actually comes out of them. Mosquitoes के साथ तो, right? Okay. So that is Thanatos. I'll tell you a small interesting tidbit and then we'll move forward. You know how Thanatos turned outward his aggression? In analysis, aggression turned inward is depression. Isn't that interesting? Okay. We've seen what drives are. We'll go to libido, pleasure, and erogenous zones. Okay. Sexual pleasure or libido is psychic energy. Okay. When Freud talks of pleasure, there are two meanings that we have to understand. These meanings are a little separate also, which makes it easier for us to understand. And later they become intermixed. Okay. The pleasure Freud talks about in infants is a non-sexual pleasure. Now, the term sexual here, I mean the term sexual here in an adult sense that we understand, right? Freud says the body of an infant is an erogenic zone, the entire body. Why does he say this? What he means to say is not that the child, an infant, is experiencing sexual pleasure as we understand it now. He means to say that an infant is just experiencing pleasure, right? So these are two different meanings. Is this clear for everyone? This has to be clear for us to move forward. क्लियर है सबको? बहुत बढ़िया. Okay. Now comes the interesting part. If the entire body is an erogenous zone of an infant, of a newly born infant, what happens later? What happens when they're, say, half a month old, 10 days old, till they're 1 year old? Till they're 1 year old, the main erogenous zone is, आप बताओ, what is the main erogenous zone? Mouth. Pleasure centers. What is it? Mouth. Why is it the mouth? Because through sucking, the child is getting nutrition, the child is getting food, the child is feeling full, satisfied, right? Because of it. So that becomes the erogenous zone, correct? After that, after the mouth, what is the erogenous zone? Anal, correct? Anus, correct? Freud has also delineated, and some people after have also delineated urethra as a erogenous zone by withholding uh, the urine mechanism as they do with the anus, right? So now in the anal zone, there's toilet training, as we know, right? So now the pleasure has shifted. ऐसा है क्या now the mouth has no pleasure at all? No, ऐसा नहीं है. It has a little less, not less, but the focus is more here now. The child is gaining pleasure by retention or expulsion of feces through the anus, right? And then anal retentive, anal expulsive personality comes later. Okay. So this is what is meant by libido. This is what is meant by pleasure, right? उसके बाद क्या होता है? After the anal stage? Excellent. Phallic stage. Phallic stage में, as we know, complexes will come in, right? Freud will talk about Venus, and we will then, which will then be debunked by Karen Horney, which we will study today only. Electra, Oedipus, right? Phallic के बाद latent, and then genital. Okay. We will not go into the depths of the Oedipus complex today, but I'll give you a brief overview of it through this picture that you see, right? The picture that you see, voice is breaking. Can you guys hear me? Hello, mic check, 1 2 3. How should I do a mic check? आ रही है ना? Can't can hear. Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. नीचे पिक्चर दिख रहा है छोटा सा. वो पिक्चर में the hand of the child is near the mother's chest on the mother. Okay. The leg of the child is kicking the father in the face. Okay. So if this is a male child, there is attraction for the opposite sex parent, right? Where is the eros directed? Towards the opposite sex parent. And towards what is directed towards the same sex parent? Fear, thanatos, aggression, right? उसके बाद castration anxiety comes in when the child finds out that the mother does not have the phallus or someone else does not have the phallus. Then he thinks he, maybe the father has taken it away. So it is resolved. So we will not go into the depths. Basic, I'll give you one example. In your childhood or even in your adulthood, have you seen small boys and girls छोटे छोटे ऐसे पेरेंट्स के साथ चलते रहते हैं, राइट? लेट्स टेक गर्ल का एग्जांपल पहले और अ बॉय का एग्जांपल पहले. A small boy is walking with his parents, है ना? And the parents are holding hands while walking. What does the boy do? He hits the father and he says no, and he takes the hand of the mother. Have you seen small girls do this? When the mother is affectionate towards the father, the small girl is like, no, 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 I am going to marry this man. Do you remember? सच सच बताओ. बहुत कॉमन है इंडिया में. Okay. That was just a small introduction to Freud and uh, some ideas that he has given. Let's move forward. Okay. Can you see this slide? Okay. This is an image from Freud's museum in London. Uh, that's his wife, that's Anna Freud. Uh, and he's looking at the reason this picture is famous is because you cannot tell who he is looking at. Is he looking at his wife or his child? And what is he thinking? भूपेंद्र जोगी तो नहीं सोच रहा होगा, राइट? व्हाट डू यू थिंक ही इज थिंकिंग? कुछ फनी बताओ भूपेंद्र जोगी ऐसा. व्हाट डू यू थिंक ही इज थिंकिंग? कैंडिड फोटो टाइम. ठीक है. ओके. लेफ्ट साइड में आर माय नोट्स. एक्चुअली दैट्स जस्ट अ स्क्रीनशॉट फ्रॉम माय पर्सनल नोट्स, समथिंग आई हैव blacked out also. These are paintings of Egon Schlegel. Okay. One painting is of a mother with a child, and the child is apparently not alive. Um, and the second painting is Eros and Thanatos engulfed in each other. Right? Do not think of, again. Yesterday we talked about thing. Have we seen Eros? ऐसे दिखता है क्या Eros? Are Eros and Thanatos opposite of each other? ऐसे separate? They're just similar, intertwined. Okay. ठीक है. ठीक है. We'll come back to this later. Okay. थोड़ा सा हम देख लेते हैं theory and we'll move forward. This is the structural model of Freud. Okay? Structural model of Freud, in which he talks about ego, superego, and id. Okay? Ego, superego, and id. Let's go from id. Let's start from id. What is id for you guys? What do you think id is? Does anyone feel like leaving the meeting right now? No, I don't want to study. Morning mein also I studied. Then I had a college exam, and then I wanted to do this. I don't want to study anymore. Not this meeting, any meeting. Yeah. Everyone is saying it's so nice of you to say no. Yes, भी बोल रहे लोग इतना सच. But yes, these are basic needs. These are urges, impulses, unfiltered desire that you have. Okay. It works on the pleasure principle, है ना? Pleasure principle क्या है? आपको जाना है ट्रिप करने बाली में और गोवा, but you are like कि I should save money, I should not. But what is the id saying? What is your desire? To actually go, right? चलो चलो जल्दी चलो, चलो चलो, we'll only go. YOLO. Yes, YOLO is an excellent word for it. Of course, you only live once. What is the concept behind it? I've never understood. ऐसे जिंदगी में एक बार तो चले जाओ. I've been. Have you guys been to Goa? अच्छा, let's not go there. Id is pleasure. Id is basic needs, urges, and impulses that you have. Okay. These urges, impulses need not be positive. Okay, there are destructive urges also that reside within us, which we've talked about. It works on the pleasure principle. Primary process you might not have heard of, right? बहुत simple है. No need to uh, make it complicated. Primary process is basically that id forces you to think the thoughts, impulses, urges that id puts in your conscious or id gives to you to gain pleasure. Okay, that is known as the primary process. The process that through which this happens is the primary process. Example, let's take the destructive examples कि आप रास्ते पे खड़े हो, cars are zooming past you, right? And you have an urge to jump. The process by which this urge has come to you is the primary process. Okay. As soon as the primary process is engaged, secondary process will come in, which is done by the ego. Ego क्या बोलेगा? Are you mad? Don't do this. Ego will not say it is wrong. Wrong is the morality principle. Correct? Are you guys with me? I feel like I'm losing some of you. If you can turn on some किसी के videos also, that would be great. जल्दी जल्दी yes बोलो. ज़्यादा हो रहा है, आ रहा है ना सब समझ? Any doubts at all, please ask me. Okay, I'll explain it again also. ठीक है. So now, when you are thinking of this intrusive thought, okay, the secondary process will come into principle. What will be the reality principle? That you will die if you jump in the road, right? That you will die if you jump in the road. इसीलिए that will not happen, correct? इसीलिए you will not do it. And superego, what will the superego say? That this is wrong, right? Moral judgment will be passed. Okay, ठीक है. ईगो देखते हैं क्या होता है. Ego is just an organization of mental processes, includes consciousness, discharge of excitations into the external world. ठीक है. This is an important line which we need to understand. Defense mechanisms occur when our ego cannot meet the demands of reality. ठीक है. So ego employs defense mechanisms. Ego छोड़ता है defense mechanisms. Okay. When it cannot meet the demands of reality. Okay, we'll come to this later. Okay, types of defenses are outline, pathological, immature, neurotic, and mature. ठीक. My ego deserves a raise. Okay. Superego. Superego works on the morality principle. Superego is you ought to be such and such, like your father. It comprises of prohibition also. You must not be like such and such, like your father. Do you guys want to be like your father? Do you guys not want to be like your father? You have imbibed qualities that you have identified with and rejected. This is a quality from my father. I want to practice. For example, discipline. And this is a quality from my father that I don't want to practice. For example, anger. Right? So then your moral judgment will become anger is wrong. Okay? ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है. I think we are a little short on time, so I will have to rush a little bit. We haven't started Jung or Horney. ठीक है. This is a simple sketches for you guys. ये interpretation of dreams में 1899 में Freud had made. This is the first topological model. And on the right, ego and id. The ego and id is a paper by Freud, written in 1930. There was the second topology of Freud. Okay. The PCPT that you see is perceptions. Freud said that you have perceptions, right? You can see me here. Hello, hi. Can you see? I'm waving my hand, right? What color are these headphones? बताओ कौन से कलर के है? पिंक. दिस इज अ परसेप्शन. सेंसेशन परसेप्शन है, राइट? These are now layered in your memory. Okay, that's what Freud is saying. पिंक हेडफोन है, आपकी मेमोरी में आया और जल्दी से मिटा दिया. As soon as you said pink, your perception का layer was cleared off for you to hear what I was saying next. कि मैंने क्यों आपको पूछा हेडफोन्स का कलर, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट यू वर लिसनिंग फॉर, करेक्ट? तो परसेप्शंस की लेयर रहती है, वो एम्प्टी होती रहती है. एंड देन अनकॉन्शियस, प्रीकॉन्शियस एंड कॉन्शियस तो भी नो होंगे. ओके, ठीक है. लेफ्ट में ऑल्सो यू कैन सी इक इज बेसिकली आर ईगो एंड उबर इज सुपर ईगो. ई एस यू कैन सी इज इड. इड का ट्रांसलेशन पता है आपको? लिटरल ट्रांसलेशन. एस, एस वी हैव ट्रांसलेटेड एस टू इड, राइट? बट व्हाट इज द ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ एस? इट्स इट. इट्स जस्ट इट. हमने इड बना दिया, सो इट साउंड्स some kind of fancy thing. Imagine if it was just it. Would you have given so much attention or so much dark things to it? ठीक है. Let's move forward. Very short on time actually. Okay, थोड़ा जल्दी चलते हैं. मीम्स आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे. Yo Mama contest. An 18 versus Sigmund Freud. Yo Mama's so obviously she needs a prescription mirror. Your mother is the reason that you will struggle with romantic intimacy for the rest of your life. Then he does a skateboard के साथ reverse something. Okay. This is the topographical model, right? Structural model we saw. Topographical is conscious, preconscious, and unconscious. Okay. Conscious क्या है? Right now, present. Things you are aware of, things your mind, things your unconscious allows you to be in the know of. Okay. We think we know, but we don't know. So unconscious has these things that we don't even know that we know. Okay. So this is like that Friends episode where they play that game with each other, that they don't know that we know that they know. That's basically your unconscious and conscious. Okay. Preconscious is the middle layer. Preconscious is those contents of the mind which are not conscious but can be made in 1 second. For example, your first day of bachelor's. Were you thinking about your first day of bachelor's right now? No. But as soon as I said it, you are now thinking of it, right? The friend that you lost in childhood. Were you thinking of that friend right now? But I said, so you were thinking. Okay? That's the preconscious. A fact about the preconscious is abortion or a miscarriage always remains in the preconscious. Always. Okay, so a mother will never forget the age that her baby would have been had they been born. Never. It's never in the unconscious. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. This is just a small uh, clinical aspect of topographic perspective. When a patient is telling you something, you have to think about this is what he's telling me, this is what he's not telling me. An example of this was in the previous slides. I'll show it to you. Okay. The patient knows something, but something the patient doesn't know. Okay. What does he not know is what we have to think. That's our job. Okay. Always wonder, right? What is he not telling me? What does he not know? So a client who has a fear of dog, he knows he has a fear of dog, but he does not know that he has a wish to be bitten by the dog. A client who's afraid of flying in flights or is afraid of height does not know that he has a wish to throw himself off that flight. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, that was Freud. Um, Now we will come to Carl Gustav Jung, bestie of Freud, BFF of Freud. Lot of allegations of Freud and Carl having something in their careers. I'm saying, okay. X, right? X BFF. Sorry, yes, X, not X BFF. Lover boys, yes. The first time Freud and Jung met, they wrote letters to each other. Yeah, that's yeah, for career, for research, they were writing letters to my friend Freud from your bestie Jung. You know, the first time they met, they talked for 13 hours straight. 13 hours बैठे थे एक जगह पे. और भाई कैसे हो? Okay, let's move. Carl Jung, I'll sum up for you. Won't spend बहुत सारा time. Not fruity at all. They say we will get. Yeah, and then they had fights and all. Freud was like, "Oh no, your theory is wrong," and Jung was like, "No, your theory is wrong. How dare you question my theory?" They had a falling out. Average queer experience, nice. OG gossip buddies. Okay, okay, come back, come back. Hello, come back. Okay, persona or shadow. बहुत simple है, right? Persona is the mask you present in front of the society. Right now, everyone is wearing a mask. I am wearing a mask. You are wearing a mask, right? You are showing those parts of yourself that you want to be seen by me, and I am showing you the parts of myself that I want to be seen by you. Oh, listen, I know this fun fact. Please accept me as your teacher, right? I'm putting on this mask. You are putting on this mask of a student who's the perfect student. Oh, I'm all I want to do is study. Okay, but what is the shadow? Your shadow is you want to go to Goa, man. Okay, and my shadow is also the same actually. I also want to go to Goa. So let's just go to Goa. But then who will crack net? Okay, persona is the mask you wear. Shadow you have to integrate with your persona. Shadow is the part of yourself which is imbibed with, say, that death instinct or the thanatos. It has drives of destruction. It has those parts of yourself that you have hidden from yourself. Okay, ठीक है. Quickly we will see this. Okay, fun thought experiment for you if you ever want to do is imagine yourself as a therapist, or if you are a therapist, from these list of archetypes you write में है, think about which one do you most identify with. Okay, iska we'll complete this thought experiment later, but Jung talked about archetypes. Okay, archetypes are deposits of constantly repeated experiences of humanity. Humanity is all the same. Okay, if you read myths, they're all the same, right? The myth of Mahabharata is the same as the myth of Christ, right? All books are written same. If you analyze them textually, you'll see कि एक main character है, उसका कोई friend है, then there's some war or something, and then this happens. And there's characters in these myths which are archetypes. So there's always the rebel, there's always the jester, there's always the magician, there's always the lover, right? These are repeated in humanity again and again. Okay, so they are known as archetypes. Individuation is shadow and persona, right? When you have become you is when individuation happens. Okay, female archetype in man and male archetype in woman. I don't think we have a lot of time to cover it. But what Jung basically meant is that no one is born with only their assigned or born gender characteristics. They always have the other gender's characteristics in them. Okay, and to recognize the femininity that I have within me is to go towards individuation. Okay, चलो. Mhm. I'll explain this quickly. Okay. I'd seen this somewhere actually. Uh, Carl Jung had a great ability to daydream. Okay. Do you remember daydreaming as a child when you used to be like, yo, I'll become Shah Rukh Khan only, and then I'll see what Amitabh Bachchan is doing. So daydreaming was awesome, and it was very real also. Yeah, this can happen. Why will this not happen? Right? Carl Jung never lost this ability. He always had this ability, even in adulthood. So he could daydream and he could talk to his figures of imagination, right? And he has written all of this in his black books. His conversations with his figures of imagination, he has written in the black books. Uska compilation is the red book. Okay. What is the basis of this theory? The basis of this theory is, okay, can you guys smile? Ek bar. Okay, you're smiling. Can you smile a corporate smile? Office में जैसे आप smile करते हो. Okay. Can you laugh? आप जैसे दोस्तों के साथ laugh करते हो. Of course, not on command, but you know what I mean. Now, how did you do this? Who taught you this? How do you know how to smile in an office setting? Do you know कि okay ये maxillofacial muscle pull करनी पड़ती है and then you activate it so that it's a pretentious smile in the office for your boss? No, but you just do it naturally. How does this happen, man? How does this work? How do you just do things naturally? Jung said that you have a lot of information in your actions. For example, in your smile. And the first smile you smiled was in reaction to your mother smiling at you, for example. Right? So you saw someone else. And who did your mother see? Their mother. And who did that woman see? Your grandmother, your grandmother. So the action of smiling has developed as a consequence of collective imitation. Okay. And it has been passed down. Your mother smiled at you, you were smiling at your boss is not smiling at you, he's angry at you. Okay. So यहाँ तो नहीं हो रहा है transmission. But Jung could talk to these figures of imagination, right? Who had all of these patterns of behavior. For example, smiling. And then he has written all of this down. And the deposits of them, where will the deposits of entire humanity's mind be? What will it be called? जितने भी लोग थे अब तक जिंदा in the entire history, if their mind's part is deposited in a same well, what is that well known as? That well is the collective unconscious. Okay, ठीक है. Are you guys with me? I can see the same amount of people. That's good. You guys are here? Pakka? ठीक है. This is Michelangelo's creation of Adam. What Jung did was important because Jung brought back the intellectual community with the religious community, that they're not different. Okay, ठीक है. Now let's move to my favorite theorist of today, Karen Horney, right? Neo-Freudian. I don't like Karen Horney to be categorized as a Neo-Freudian because इतना debunk किया है ना Horney ने Freud को कि penis envy, no, womb envy, right? What is penis envy? Penis envy, Freud said that women are envious of the phallus that a man possesses. What did Horney say? No. Men are envious of the ability that women have of giving birth. Women. Okay. Freud talked about pleasure. Freud said, I'm, I'm I'm just wrapping up in 5 minutes. Freud talked about pleasure. Freud said that a child will always go towards pleasure. Horney said, no, a child needs safety first, right? We can talk about the tyranny of the should also. I also believe that a lot of behavioral therapies has emerged from Horney's tyranny of the should. Should is basically you have an idealized image of yourself that, this is how I should be. Okay. You want to uphold yourself to that standard every day, right? And then you put shoulds on yourself. I should get up at 6 a.m. I should not eat outside today. I should not do this. I should not do that. Right? You tyrannize yourself, correct? Because of this idealized image. So this is the tyranny of the should. This diagram we'll discuss later. Okay, this is the last slide, I think, for today. So, remember the first MCQ that we talked about? Basic evil. Horney said indifference of parents in the early ages is the basic evil. Okay. Neurosis, any pathology, any neurosis will emerge from this indifference that parents have. What is indifference? Basic example, बच्चा एक कमरे में रो रहा है and the mother is not attending to it, ignoring it, indifferent towards it. Okay. Horney also said that not only indifference will lead to pathology, but also adoration, humiliation, perfectionism, hypocrisy, inconsistency. Okay. What will happen if the child is ignored while it's crying? अब भी पैदा हुआ है यार बच्चा इतना से उसको कुछ भी नहीं पता है उसको क्या पता उसको नेट क्लियर करती है 20 साल बाद the child is crying in a room, right? The child feels alone, the child feels frightened, they feel they do not feel good. This is where the basic anxiety emerges from. This is the first experience of the child with anxiety, right? And Horney said that the child can react to this with three mechanisms. The first is compliance, that the child moves towards people, that the child moves towards love. It seeks affection, it seeks love. The second is hostility, which is it moves against people, right? It develops aggression for the caregiver. For the good breast becomes the bad breast, right? We'll come to that later. And another one is withdrawal, which is moving away from people. Moving away from people was described as a man who's in a hotel room with a do not disturb sign on his handle forever, right? These are the three ways the child can react. And that is today's presentation. I think I rushed the last part of it. MCQs we can do later, but I hope did you guys understand the last part where I was rushing? Are you guys all clear? Are you guys with me? पक्का? Yes, no? कहाँ चले गए सब लोग? Okay, I can see a lot of reactions. ठीक है. Okay, then I will hand over to Shannon and of course Ritisha ma'am. Thank you guys. I will stop presenting.
Thanks, Sam. You can also stop recording, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. Thank you
Done.
so much for doing that.